The multiverse is real. Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Honest Review. Today, we're going to be reviewing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Since 2019, Marvel Studios has been experimenting with products of the multiverse since Avengers Endgame dealt with the aspect of time travel, splitting off several different timelines. This was expanded upon in Spider-Man Far From Home, with Mysterio's backstory being that he is a multiversal hero. The first ever multiverse product ever really released by Marvel Studios was Loki, showcasing an alternate universe version of Loki from a timeline where after the Avengers, he takes the Tesseract away and is kidnapped by the TVA, which deals with multiversal variants, where we meet several versions of Loki, including a female version of Loki named Sylvie, a kid version of Loki, an elderly version of Loki, a black version of Loki, a president version of Loki, and even an alligator version of Loki. And it also sets up the next villain in the MCU with Kang. The real multiverse was explored in Marvel Studios' What If, a show that basically explored several different ideas, and I will list them to you now. If Peggy Carter got the Super Soldier Serum instead of Steve Rogers. If T'Challa, Prince of Wakanda, went up into space and became Star-Lord. If the Avengers were killed before they even had a chance to rise. If Doctor Strange lost Christine Palmer instead of being in a horrifying crash that broke his body. If the zombies were a thing. If Tony Stark was never captured by the terrorists. If Thor was an only child. If Ultron got world domination. And of course, if the Watcher broke his oath and assembled all of the most well-known heroes and villains from each universe. Then, of course, with Spider-Man No Way Home releasing late 2021, we of course had the inclusion of multiversal villains, with 3 villains from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films and 2 villains from the Mark Webb Amazing Spider-Man films, as well as the appearance of 2 other Spider-Men, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, beside Tom Holland's, getting together and stopping the villains, which not only ended up being the biggest movie of 2021, but also the best of 2021 by far. And at the end, we got a trailer for yet another multiversal film, with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, a sequel to a movie that was released in 2016, so almost 6 years ago, and there's a lot to unpack, so spoilers, importantly, and let's get on with it. So after Doctor Strange went through the events of Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, as well as the multiverse problem in Spider-Man No Way Home, he is now pretty much resuming life. He unfortunately comes into contact with a monster that he's never seen before, as well as a girl named America Chavez. He and Wong put together after her telling of a multiversal little area where she came from, as her Doctor Strange was killed while battling a demon. So Stephen Strange goes to visit Wanda Maximoff after the events of her taking over of Westview, which just so happened to be my very first honest review. Check it out. #shameless plug. Unfortunately for Strange, Wanda's power embrace of the Scarlet Witch has also drove her a little bit insane, as she wants to reconnect with her twins, Tommy and Billy, who were created by magic under Wanda's hex. See, I remember some of the stuff from this show. But she'll want the power of America Chavez to get to a universe where that can't happen. So, Steven has to go and protect Chavez with the help of basically everyone of the sanctums. There's the Hong Kong sanctum and the England sanctum, as well as the New York sanctum, all battling Wanda. Unfortunately, her power also causes Strange and Chavez to be knocked into different multiverses before stumbling upon one, Earth 838, where that version of Doctor Strange was killed. And who's in charge of this universe? Who defends it? The Illuminati, which deviates a little bit from its comic book origins, but it still has some key players, such as Peggy Carter, aka Captain Carter, from Marvel Studios' What If, making her live-action debut, still played by Haley Atwell, as well as Lashana Lynch, playing Maria Rambeau, who takes on Captain Marvel in this version. I'm assuming that Carol Danvers moved on, and that Lashana Lynch's Rambeau was the one who got the powers of the Kree, which actually I would like to see a What If episode expanding on that. And we also have the new casting, which has been rumored for a long time and fan cast to death. John Krasinski as Reed Richards, aka Mr. Fantastic, in his first MCU appearance and his first live action appearance since that horrible 2015 Fantastic Four movie with Miles Teller playing the character. Also on the team is a variant of Baron Mordo, who is still played by Chiwetel Ejiofor. I'm assuming if they make a Doctor Strange 3, they're going to include Baron Mordo as one of the villains, because I actually did think that we had the main 616 Mordo as the villain, but we did not here. And we also had some recasting. We have Anson Mount, who plays Black Bolt, who also played him on the Inhuman show on ABC, but he also has a more comic accurate costume. And the return of Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier, who is also Professor X, and this is his first appearance in 5 years after his version of the character died in Logan. So, Wanda controls a variant of herself and murders the Illuminati, while Strange, and the help of a variant of Christine Palmer, still played by Rachel McAdams, go and try to find a spell book, which the name is escaping me right now, but I do have a sense of what it is, in an attempt to stop Wanda from destroying the multiverse. So, if you probably couldn't tell, it's a very, very complex story, and I could not have explained it without going very, very deep into it with the spoiler talk. But as a matter of fact, going into this movie, I was very excited, obviously. It was one of the movies I was looking forward to a lot this year, and I wasn't disappointed at all. As a matter of fact, I loved it to pieces. I'd say it's better than the first Doctor Strange movie. It improves a lot on the relationship between Steven and Christine, but we'll get to that in a minute. And it also has the touch of Sam Raimi, which is amazing because he did 3 Spider-Man films previously, so he knows how to do a comic book film. And also had some elements of horror, like with his very popular horror franchise, The Evil Dead. But we'll get to Sam Raimi's direction in a minute. We need to talk about a lot of things. We're going to talk about the characters, because there are so many of them. It's not like a big cast. It's not like the big epic combination like the Avengers was, which, by the way, that movie turned 10 on May the 4th as well. So it was Star Wars Day and Avengers Day, and I guess Spider-Man 3 Day as well. Wow, that's a lot. So, Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, always I've loved, but this was probably one of his best performances as the character. And considering the fact that he had to play not one, not two, but three main versions of the character, it was very awesome to see what he's done. And it makes me also want to watch the BBC Sherlock show, because I've not seen it yet. I've also not seen Downton Abbey, or Game of Thrones, or Breaking Bad. I need to watch a lot of shows. But I digress. He is great in this role, and I fully think that he is one of the best actors working today now, due to his really nice performance. And I'd say he's even better than he was in the first movie. Obviously, Wong is still my favorite character in regards to Doctor Strange. Benedict Wong can do no wrong as Wong. That was weird to say, but whatever. I'll allow it. He is so funny. Every line that comes out of him always gives me the chance to laugh, especially in the first Doctor Strange with the Beyonce joke. That was pretty funny. I think it was Beyonce. I'm pretty sure it was Beyonce, but whatever. As well as some jokes in Avengers Infinity War that he made. And then he obviously appears in Endgame, Shang-Chi, and Spider-Man No Way Home. So he's definitely a keeper to have around, and Benedict Wong does a great job playing the character, and I honestly think he should stay playing the character because he is fun. Now, I'm sorry if I butcher your name, but Zonchil Gomez plays America Chavez, and she did a really nice job. I'm assuming this is her first acting debut, because I tried looking her up, and not much. She's we're around the same age, as a matter of fact. I think she's a few months older than I am, but whatever. And I thought she was really great, and I'm a huge fan of when child actors put their heart and soul into their performances. Big examples of that come from the 2017 It movie with that cast, as well as the kid from Looper, because, they act like kids. And she has a pretty heartbreaking backstory. Her powers caused the death of her family, and, well, I know if I was in her shoes, I'd be upset as well. And I feel like the way they expressed that was really well done. She's definitely a keeper to have in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in the phases and movies and possibly TV shows to come. Christine Palmer, I wasn't a huge fan of her when I watched the original Doctor Strange. As a matter of fact, there were things about her that I wasn't too fond of. Like, her breakup with Steven in the first movie due to his soul being broken was good. But they kind of reconcile really, really fast. And also, not a complaint or anything. She's just so vile towards Steven and, just roasts him at her wedding. It's literally Sam Raimi. Whenever I watch a movie, everybody, talks about how Mary Jane Watson from the Spider-Man movies, happy belated birthday to Kirsten Dunst, was, a week ago. How Mary Jane Watson was, very manipulative and just vile towards Peter Parker. And I'm like, well, Sam Raimi's movie, not mine. It's weird, and I find it odd that he has this happen, but, it's his choice. Yawn. But I'm not gonna lie, I would I actually kind of like that sort of thing. But her 838 variant is much, much better. And we have a Christine that actually likes Steven still. And expressed really well in the What If episode. Stephen Strange lost his heart instead of his hands. Go check it out. Like, honestly, you're not going to regret watching it. It is great. I'd say that this is one of Rachel McAdams' best performances as the character. She did a really, really good job. And then we have the multiverse characters. We have a universe in which the Defenders are a thing, not the crappy Defenders from the Netflix or now Disney Plus shows, but the other Defenders, which I think had the Hulk in it too. We had that version of Doctor Strange, who also turns into a zombie as well. I talked to my friend who I watched movies with, and I said he looked like the freaking mummy from that 1999 Mummy movie, or at least sometimes. And when he looked like, it's that one scene in The Mummy where he sucks up the soul of Jonathan Hyde's character. He turns around and he's got like chunks of his body like kind of removed, and his face is all like white and stuff. If you watch that movie, very underrated by the way, it's probably one of my favorite action movies of all time. Go check it out, honestly. But I'm getting off track. He just looked very cool, and the makeup or CGI they did to Benedict Cumberbatch to make him look like a zombie was great. And I want to see more of the risks taken. The other Doctor Strange that he has to play here is a evil version of Doctor Strange. It is not Strange Supreme, as theories stated. I did not originally think it was going to be Strange Supreme anyways, because he had a redemption in What If after the What If the Watcher broke his oath. He joins the Guardians of the Universe. So I don't see him as a villain anymore. But this version of Doctor Strange is a lot different. He is in a universe where everything is wiped out, and he's like the last one standing in a sanctum. And he also has a third eye. Yay! That's epic. Third eye. Kind of looks like this. There you go. In spite of all of that, his battle with Doctor Strange was really cool. And yeah, it's great to see some evil versions of several characters. I mean, we got like Vision, who was still under Ultron's command, as well as like zombie harvester Vision. I don't remember. So yeah, I like seeing evil versions of like heroes, because that is really cool. Anyways, we also have other multiverse characters, including a bunch of Ultron sentries, apparently. Everybody thought they were going to be the superior Iron Man, but no, they're just very, very different looking Ultron sentries, and it is confirmed. But the Illuminati initially thought they were going to go for the comic accurate route with the list of the Illuminati, because with the Avengers, they took the Ultimate Universe and built their Avengers team on that, but no, they basically reinvented the Illuminati team. We don't have characters like Namor anymore, but the mainstays we have are obviously Mr. Fantastic, who I said earlier makes his live-action debut for the MCU, and the first time he's been in live action since 2015, as well as Black Bolt and Professor X. So those are the members of the Illuminati from the original source material. Also included in that original team was Iron Man and Doctor Strange. So that's cool. But we also had the live action debut of freaking Captain Carter, which is the second time Marvel Studios has brought in a TV show character from their shows into one of their movies. Well, you could say the third time, since Agent Carter did that same thing with Edwin Jarvis. But I mean, like Disney Plus shows, they brought Valentina into Black Widow, and now they're bringing Captain Carter into this movie. So she has variants, apparently. And then, of course, we have a variant of Captain Marvel, who is actually Maria Rambeau in this timeline, I guess. And they all die pretty brutal deaths, I might add. Black Bolt, if you don't know what he does, whenever he speaks, dangerous sound waves come out. So, like, if he yells, then, like, it's an earthquake. But his mouth gets removed, and then his head explodes. Mr. Fantastic turns into spaghetti. Basically what Thanos did to Mantis in Infinity War, but just with a violent twist. Captain Carter is bisected with her own shield, and then Captain Marvel is crushed, and then Xavier has his neck snapped in the trance. Who did this? Wanda. I'll talk about the action later, but the Illuminati were good characters until their deaths. Yeah, hopefully we'll see more. I know we're going to see the Fantastic Four, so maybe get John Krasinski back and probably cast his wife as, because they confirmed that Sue is a thing, as well as the kids. So Johnny and Ben are next, but yeah. As for our villain, it's actually Scarlet Witch, or Wanda Maximoff. She was kind of a villain in freaking WandaVision, because, like, she holds an entire town hostage. But, yeah, what happens is that her mind is melded by the powers of the Scarlet Witch, and she turns into an evil mastermind, and her motivation here is actually very, very upsetting and very dark. Her kids, Billy and Tommy, still played by the kids who played them in the show, who did a really nice job. I always thought they were kind of stupid in the show, but here they did a really good job. Like, these are gonna be our next Robert De Niro's or Joaquin Phoenix's, like, winning Oscars for their performances when they're older. Because if you don't remember, Joaquin Phoenix started out in crappy comedies before, like Parenthood. I'm sorry, I don't like it. Before he took on the role of Arthur Fleck. Like, that's awesome. But I'm losing focus here. Wanda was great. I'm sorry, I cut myself off. Wanda was great. Elizabeth Olsen is also great in this role. It's probably her best performance of the character yet, and next to Infinity War. And episode 8 of WandaVision, which is still the best episode of that entire series. So yeah, that's about it for the characters. Bruce Campbell does make a cameo. He just punches himself, and then Mordo is also a thing. He doesn't have much. That's why I didn't bring him up. The visual style of this movie blew my mind. Like, the first movie always blew my mind whenever I looked at the visuals. But here, like, holy crap. It was cool. Like, the hopping from different dimensions sequence, and then, of course, the future New York City thing was just awesome. And it looked just stunning. Like, great VFX. The music, to my shock, actually, was done by Danny Elfman, who is still to this day one of my favorite composers of all time. He has composed tons of great scores. He did Batman, Edward Scissorhands, and Nightmare Before Christmas, and he also added his talents to several other properties. But he is just an amazing composer, and I'm so glad that he delivered a score here that we can remember. And it's great to see Danny Elfman come back into the limelight, because I really miss him. I miss his music. This video is getting long. I'm aware. I'm sorry, guys, but I need to talk about the action scenes. They are very, very well done. I mean, I think my favorite action scene is Wanda versus the Illuminati in the Baxter complex. But I also enjoy the final battle and the battle in like the first real big action scene of the movie at the training complex. It's also just really good. Like, the action in this movie is pretty much like some of the best action I've seen in a comic book movie in the MCU's Phase 4. Obviously, Spider-Man beats it out, but yeah. So, yeah, I loved Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I know a lot of people, for some reason, didn't really think much about it, but I enjoyed it. It's one of the best films of Marvel's Phase 4, one of the best parts of Phase 4 overall, and yeah, if the multiverse is what they're going to explore during Phase 4, then bring it on. Because I'll keep giving scores like 10s out of 10s to movies like this, which is what I give. So yeah, go check it out. Definitely recommend it. Well, that was it for the world's longest honest review I've done. The podcast don't count as honest reviews, but if you enjoyed this honest review, please feel free to leave a like and a comment and a share and even a subscription, and keep watching movies. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see all of you guys very, very, very soon. Take care. Goodbye.